Hey, my library fellows. Haley in the library here in September is over. I can't believe it. The fall got off to a interesting start as I started this new role, of course, as library faculty. And now it is time for me to set up my October journals. So follow along and let's do it. All right, so I have two journals that I need to work on as we close September and hop into October versus my reading journal, and then we will actually set up my daily use journal. So, looking back in my reading journal, I'm actually new to sort of reading bullet journaling, but I've definitely been enjoying that process and documenting. And so mine is a little bit more of like a media slash journal. And so first, I'm going to just update my watch list and kind of what I got up to. So in September I started Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time. We watched Love is Blind UK. South Park came back with its new season. We caught up on Rick and Morty, Abbott Elementary's new season, and also watched The Paper, which was really fun. Actually, I would recommend The Paper. It's a spin-off kind of The Office that now follows the little small kind of local, the Toledo Truth Teller. So that was really fun, especially with my background being in journalism and media studies to kind of go through that, and I really enjoyed it. So getting into my actual reading journal, some of those series, I like to keep it just an index of what I've been reading. And then I have my little like book cart of faves. I got that idea from jashiicorrin. Kind of puts these little shelfy tabs and inserts where we can, kind of keep different books. And so definitely go check out like her channel. It's amazing. She actually does, journaling. So it's been really helpful for me. But filling in just my series index, and kind of like what I'm setting up for that one off is 1984 is the book I'm going to be reading in October. I am currently still reading The Spell Shop. It is very cozy. I'm not really feeling it, but if you are interested in kind of a sweet, slow, cozy, kind of just chill, feel good read, you might check it out. I really, my goal is to finish it, this month, this October, and hopefully get that wrapped up and done. Okay, so while yes, I will try to finish the spell shop, I'm listening to it on audiobook. Then my physical book, read, and what I'm definitely excited to really get into here for the month, maybe next few months, is 1984 from George Orwell. It's been circulated a lot. I see it pop up on threads and in comments, and people are quoting, right, this book a lot. Kind of in the online discourse. And while I did read it in, my high school lit class, that has been 15 years since I read that book. So I think it's time to, pick it up. And so that way I want to understand, and really make sure I know what people are quoting and exactly, right? Not just the kind of nostalgic sort of memory of it. So I'm going to be reading that and creating different little video essays of that journey here on this channel over the next couple of months. And so we'll basically go chapter by chapter through the book. And I'm going to be, layering in like library research, all these studies, giving you kind of the context as I'm relearning what this book is portraying and why, people are so drawn to it in this moment of time. Now, with my layouts and spreads, I like to just have, I keep it really simple. Plot, write down some of those notes, setting, characters. That's all I really keep track of. And then for every new book spread, I also like to print out on my little, it's a Kodak Pixma little like thing. It has an app on my phone, and then I'm able to just, grab photos. Yes, think about copyright. I am using these in my, personal notebook and journal. And so, I'm not impacting the commercial liability or, kind of using it as intellectual property. So I do feel okay and comfortable, pulling these photos from their author, websites, and just printing it out from my journal just to make that a little bit easier. And so I like to have the author there, and I'll fill in the bio as I start, researching him and his history and going through it. And then I always like to print out a copy cover of that book where then I can put the star ratings and my overall kind of reviews and quotes kind of on those pages. And so flipping back through is what it will look like when it is done. I try to have, the decorations kind of match a little bit. This book was a walk in the park. So I have, all my outdoorsy kind of stuff. And as you can see, I just fill in light notes. Like I'm not trying to make, my book journal to be, homework, just kind of capturing interesting moments about what I was reading. Okay, so now I need to set up my daily journal, and just kind of flipping back through. I just use the little like sticker kits and packs as I go through. And so, kind of wrapping up September, some of the layouts that I like to have is, of course, my kind of big goal setting. I like to have a tracking for habits, all the usual. I've been trying to get more into running, so I like to keep track of those. And then this is my daily use journal. Now, September was this really cute, like sunflower kind of vibe with a lot of greens and browns and yellows. And because, September, October, and began in the middle of a week, I am thinking I'm going to try to sort of blend the two themes together. Now I just use the like subscription kit from Archer and Olive. Like this is not promo in any way. It's just convenient for me. But I am interested in kind of expanding out. So drop, your recommendations, comments of other places that have, kind of like monthly kits that I could pick up. I said this is just a thing they do to enhance my daily work, not, a full, huge, job or hobby for me making journals. So I really appreciate just having themes and kits going. And I'm excited about this month's theme. Sometimes I don't like them very much, but this one is all about kind of dragons and fantasy with these blues and turquoise and purples. So I'm really actually excited and I like that palette a lot. So on the first page, again, I just keep it pretty simple as I'm getting used to bullet journaling, honestly. So you probably, set up a similar kind of opening page, maybe. I don't know, give me ideas on what you like. But I'm kind of going through and having my, October 1st page and using these new little stickers that I don't know, just feel a little bit kind of spooky. I really have realized that I like the ripped edge look as I've been exploring kind of my journaling process and what I like. And so these stickers I think are kind of cool. And on the first page, the thing that I do like to do is actually set up kind of a lunar tracking. So I'm just saying, meet the hollows moon because, Halloween as I kind of go through. And then I'm going to fill in these moon circles. But what you'll quickly see and realize as I was, kind of, again, I'm not always the most careful because this is my just actual real journal that I use daily. I should have drawn out actual squares and really thought and took more time to plan, but all these circles are going to represent the different moon tracking. But then I realized I did not have really enough space and had to fill those in a little bit kind of a awkward way. You can see before I had, done actual squares, it just takes so much longer. So I wasn't really feeling that. And then I am using these little stamps, and I found that the ink pad, is so messy. Really hated it, but if I just fill in my stamps with markers, it always works a lot better. So yeah, let me know what you like to do on the opening page. I never really know. The next set of spreads that I like to do, I'm writing, Run with the Wolves and trying to be kind of, I don't know, spooky themed, I guess. Maybe I should have said dragons, I don't know. But what I like to do on this page is a really simple kind of matrix of, recovery, hiking, a pace, and then a really pushing myself and challenge. So that way I can mark down with little dots how my running journey is going as I kind of go like couch to 5K in a way. And so, things that are in that upper recovery quadrant means that my pace is really slow and I didn't go very far. Things in the right upper quadrant is hiking. We do that a lot. So the pace is slow, but we get a lot of miles. A challenge means that I'm getting a lot of miles and my pace is fast. And then the pace quadrant is short miles, but I should be really, really fast. So those are I'm only doing like a mile or two, but trying to push myself. And then I do a daily log. That one's pretty simple and basic that I think a lot of people like to take care of and do. All right, so now I'm just setting up my, monthly like goals and tracking. And so again, pretty, I think, normal, typical. I have my, important to do boxes, which are going to be, my work projects and some of the things I need to focus on this month in the library. We have some workshops that I'm hosting and giving about different tech tools. Actually, we'll also be presenting at an academic conference, so I gotta, think about those. We're launching a new website. I'm going to be launching a podcast feed for the library. I actually have a lot happening in October, and then I have a place for, home stuff. We have a lot of house projects we're trying to finish up. Are we going to host a Halloween party? And then I also like to have my creative goals. And so that's going to include things like finishing the spell shop, actually organizing my files, that kind of stuff. And then I'm playing around with a new kind of tracker system this time, again, using that stamp with just the marker because I just find the ink too messy. So I just have a black marker and just coloring it in to give those stamps. And so I'll just track, my sleep, my steps, and my heart rate kind of cardio target goals, and, color it in with the different sort of key there. After the tracking, I get right into my weekly spreads. And this is where I'm going to try to do something that might not turn out. I think overall I liked how it turned out, where I'm transitioning between September's theme. And so I'll pull the yellows and greens and everything into the actual October themes with the blues and the purples and the dragon colors. So, I have my September into October to deal with that kind of midweek switch. I do hate that, with the Monday and Tuesday, right, is the 29th and the 30th to finish up September. Um, and so in my weekly spreads, I just have my projects. So, what I have to do. And again, loads of events are happening in this sort of first transition week, from meetings to website updates to just a video shoot, for a promo video that I'm doing. The library is able to coordinate with the Office of the Provost and then University Ecom and then the library folks to do a feature and remind people about all these services. And we actually built some new spaces, for folks to study. And I realized a lot of campus didn't know about it. So I'm really excited for those projects, and all that is kind of happening in this first week. So I have my Monday, Tuesday, then I'm putting some of the, again, dragon like October theme stickers, just to try and show that it is going to be slowly transitioning into the new month. So I'll just get that, kind of wrapped up, with some of the decor ideas. All right, and now I'm flipping the page, and I can finally get into the October theme. Even though I really actually liked September a lot, green is one of my favorite colors. These blues and purples, I just say, are gorgeous. I'm excited to use my journal. Back in like August, the sticker pack was this carnival theme. Honestly, I really thought it was so awful and ugly, and I ended up using like yellows and reds and oranges, which are just not my side of the color wheel. And I actually was very grumpy the entire month using my journal because I was just like, I do not like looking at this. But this month with these, kind of gem tones and those colors of the dragon theme, I think is really pretty. And I definitely like using my journal. I just start my day off happier when I think it's pretty. So I am excited about that. And so, October actually starts on a Wednesday. So then moving forward, I can have all of these kind of proper themes and gem tones in. So I, again, keep it really simple. This is my actual functional journal. So I just like to write down in kind of more of the actual bullet journal, like the original intent and style of here's the key tasks, always making sure to start with a verb. So instead of a noun like dishes, it's, actually, wash or, dry, unload dishes, that kind of stuff. So some of the things specifically, it's like I need to expand the social media plan for the library, right? I need to build out 3 website mockups, that kind of stuff. And I just fill that in every single morning of my day. All right, and that wraps it up. Let's do a final walkthrough. We're meeting the Hallows Moon with our dragon theme. I got my lunar calendar kind of thing that I will fill out, which is as the moon cycle progresses. My running page, my daily log of just, the big thing that I accomplished or did that day. I'll fill in my work, home, creative goals, my steps tracker, and then getting into just the weekly pages, trying to transition from September sunflowers into these October kind of castle dragon fantasies. I'm really excited. What theme are you going for in your October journey?
All right, and that's the story. Hope your journals are set up. Let me know what you're working on creating, what supplies you love, and what stories you're maybe working through in October. And join me right on this read through of 1984. If you want to get your copy, we're going to be starting. I'll be using the 75th anniversary edition, um, which does have kind of a new little foreword that we will be starting with and working through. So look out for those videos. Pick up your own copy if you want to do a reread alongside me. And I hope that you have the best month, or at least a good month, or the month that you want it to be. All right, that's the story.